Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting-edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI-powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, it's Jenna here. I just want to jump in real quick and make sure that you know about the daily because we are about to start month 2 on the 1st, which is right around the corner. It's literally tomorrow as I'm recording this. So here's how the program works. Just want to give you a brief overview because I'm getting such incredible feedback from not only the designers in the program, but the ones that are like, this needed to exist. You and I both know how quickly AI changes. That's why I have a podcast. That's why I started AI for Interior Designers. But with the previous classes that I was teaching, I felt like I couldn't update on everything. So I started with just Midjourney, and then I started with just Dolly, and then class 4, just ChatGPT. But the thing is, in the past year since launching AI for Interior Designers, I get to explore so many different AI-infused programs or just AI programs. And I want you to know about all of them. So the daily is your daily dose of actionable AI. You learn something in 30 minutes or less in a video that's delivered to you every single morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So you can watch it with your coffee or you can binge it on the weekend. It really doesn't matter. You watch in your own time. And then at the end of the month, we get together and we have a community discussion. What are your questions? What kinds of ways are you using what you learned in the past month? Let's talk about it. Let's talk it through and let's see what's next, what's on the agenda, and what's coming down the pipeline for AI. So this is not only a great way for you to be able to get actionable, up-to-date daily AI, but you can also ask me questions. So on the training videos, there's a comment section. Tell me and I'm prompting you to do stuff as we work through the class, but tell me how, the prompt worked for you, or tell me what you did with the education that you received that day or that week. It's really fun. It's really interactive, and you don't feel so alone when it comes to AI. It's practical and actionable AI for not just interior designers, but other creatives in the space and other industry members. So right now you can lock in the $99 a month promo through the end of the year. And that is $99 reoccurring unless if you cancel. So $99 to access literally hours of training every single month. I mean, that's a small fee to pay to be able to stay insanely up to date with AI in your business. I can promise you that it's going to save you so much time and money to learn these skills to either implement yourself or have somebody on your team be able to implement it for you. So I hope to see you around the daily, and you can go to www.aiforinteriordesigners.com/the daily. It's also all over the website. So go check it out. All right. Here's the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to AI for Interior Designers podcast. I am your host, Jenna Gaidusek, and this is episode 31. Second take. So as you know, I release an episode on Wednesdays. Usually, unless if I am just sick, tired, or just could not get to it because I was traveling, which has been a few rare occurrences since I started the podcast this year. But here we are, episode 31. And for some reason, when I recorded yesterday, it just sounded terrible. And I tried to fix it. I spent so much time trying to fix the audio where I have no business fixing audio. I have no business editing a podcast, let's be honest, but I'm doing it because I want to learn and I want to see how AI can help me with these things. So that's why I'm doing this. But what happened was it was just so crackly, and I'm pretty positive that I know why. My 3-year-old son loves to sing and is obsessed with my microphones that I have in here. So, which is funny because he's the complete opposite of my daughter, who's I'm not singing unless if it's in private and you cannot even look at me or put on headphones. So he's just belting it out. So I turned on my Riverside, which is where I record my podcast for him, and just turned the mic over and put on Wheels on the Bus. But he doesn't just like sing into the microphone. He likes to suck on my microphone. So luckily I have a few other ones. But today I'm actually reshooting this from my phone and the clip-on mic. So hopefully this doesn't die. It looks like it's still good, but hopefully we're good to go. So 3-year-olds, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's adorable. Didn't realize it was really kind of not a good thing, but we'll figure it out. So here we go, round 2 with the AI and High Point Market like recap. So I just returned from High Point Market, and it was actually a really short trip for me this time. So I live 4 hours away in Charleston from High Point, North Carolina. So if you've never been to High Point, highly recommend that you do. It's just such a great experience. Not only seeing all the fabulous product, what's on trend, but the panelists, the education, and just the people. Like, honestly, I would go just to hang out with the people at this point. And it was, so I started going in 2019, and it wasn't, I feel like, always like that. And that's probably just because I had to, make friends. Like, I didn't know anybody. I went the first time with 2 people that I knew. Luckily, Rochelle Plett was one of them and is incredible at, knowing people and upholstery and education. So she took me under her wing the first High Point and showed me around. And I miss you, Rochelle. So I'll see you again soon, because it's been quite a few markets. But that was my first experience, and I'm so grateful for that, because that was a private tour that she basically gave me and introduced me to so many people, because I'm not somebody that goes out of my way to talk to somebody the first time. So if I know you, I will absolutely go up to you and be like, hey, how's it going? But I am terrible at I'm just so shy around new people. And I've always been that way, where I kind of wait for an introduction, or I wait for somebody else to, introduce me to somebody. And then after that, I'm good. I just have always been like that. So going to these events has just always been very hard for me to branch out. But it's something that I actually really consciously try and work on, to make sure that I'm going out, I'm making the connections, and I'm forcing myself to do the networking, but also in an organic way, and making friends along the way. So this past year has been, for me, really pushing me outside of my comfort zone, because I have traveled so much to teach AI, but also I have, made so many friends in the meantime. So it makes going to these trade shows now oh my gosh, all my friends are there. I'm just going to go see all of them. And the camaraderie, I do think there's been a massive shift since I started, at least in the virtual space, where it was very gated, and I am doing this and you cannot do that, and there's not enough, and this scarcity mindset. But that's just not the vibe that I get anymore. And maybe it's still out there, but I feel like I am in this really cool place teaching AI for interior designers, and in also the virtual technology space for so long, that I've gotten to meet so many interesting people and so many different walks of life, and I learned from so many of them. So that kind of takes me to who I got to learn from this weekend on some of the AI panels. So let me kind of take you through what I did, because it's interesting to see how we all go to market, but we all have such different market experiences every single time. Whether you're meeting new people, or sticking with the ones that you already know, or just kind of going on your own and doing it for the first time. It's always a very different experience for every single person. So I drove up on Friday, and I made it there in the afternoon, went directly to IDS. If you are not a member of Interior Design Society, I highly recommend that you join. Some of the best people in the industry, honestly. You do not need a design degree to be able to join, which kind of keeps the pressure down a little bit, because a lot of people are members of, ASID and other organizations as well as IDS, because it is truly an incredible community of people, not just designers, but also other, just all different corners of the industry. I'm a member of IDS, I'm a member of With It, and, a few other professional organizations, that I've just started to pick up and either rejoin or join for the first time. And this for me again is very hard because I really have to push myself. But I'm very excited because when I went to IDS, the Charleston chapter was having a meetup. That's actually why I went, because it was at 4:00. So I went directly there, hung out for a little bit, and then got to meet the people that are starting the Charleston IDS chapter. So we are going to be launching this here officially in January, but there's already events being planned for November and December. Well, I think December. I know November for sure. So if you are in the Charleston area and you want to join the Charleston IDS chapter, shoot me a message. I am happy to connect you with the people that can help you to join our chapter. So I will definitely be joining, hopefully getting more involved with the chapter, because again, I'm trying to push myself out there. I live in Charleston, but I work remotely. And so in all the places that I've lived, all the different states that I've moved to, for me, like my job and or family has been like the priority. So going out and making friends and networking, especially with small kids, just wasn't really something that I was both comfortable with because I'm so introverted, and be just something I didn't really have time for. But now I'm in a different place in my life where I'm making the time and I'm doing it for me, and just to like not feel so lonely here in the interior design space, because I know there's so many designers. I just haven't had time to or there hasn't been a channel for me to go out and say, oh, let's go meet up at, this Charleston location. Let's stay in touch and let's do all these things. So very excited. IDS is coming out with a Charleston chapter. Hope you guys will join. Lovely meeting those ladies there at IDS on Friday. So that's what I did on Friday. And then I went to Luann Live's dinner, which was wonderful. They had a full day. Rick Campos was there as well. If you don't know Rick, design survival guide, fabulous human. I had the honor of meeting him in Scottsdale at the Design Immersion Retreat in May. So, and then just kind of through IDS and all these other things. But he's wonderful, and as is Luann. I think you guys probably all know that the queen of podcasts, and somebody that I definitely admire in this space. So it was very nice to be asked to join that dinner, and kind of meet some new people there as well, and connect with some sponsors. Umbrella. I actually won some panels, some current panels because of the chair that I was sitting in, which was because I switched with somebody. So that was really lucky, and I'm excited for some Umbrella panels. So shout out to Umbrella for that. But anyway, so that was my Friday. Saturday, I had a panel that I moderated, and that was at Fairfield Chair. So packed house. I mean, both panels that I was on were packed houses this weekend. And I had Antonio DeLoatch. Oh my gosh, Antonio, I'm going to just butcher your name as you do mine. We have known each other for over a decade at this point. We used to work together in New York City, and just, kind of stayed in touch throughout the years, and he's just taken off. So it's so fabulous to see him in what he's doing and what he's working on, and see him at all these panels. But we cannot say each other's last name, and I apologize, Antonio. I will put it in the show notes. So Antonio, it was there. We had Denise Winokur. We also had Breegan Jane on the panel. So this was my first time moderating, and we talked about AI. So I had a slide that talked about the core programs that I use and what I use them for, photo, generative AI, some LLMs in there. I like to include this when I do presentations so you can take a screenshot of it. If you've done my free webinar, it's in there as well. So if you haven't done that, go sign up for that on the website, AI for Interior Designers. Free webinar just gives you the intro and fundamentals to where we're at right now with AI in the interior design space. Okay, so Antonio was on that panel talking about how he uses generative AI mostly to close the sale. So he is basically taking the ideas that he has in his head as he's real-time having conversations with his clients and saying, okay, what do you think? You like this? I have this idea. How about this color palette? How about this? And while he's not showing the exact space, he's showing the ideation. So it's basically glorified Pinterest, right? Where he is saying, oh, well, here's what we could do. Let me like go out now and actually design that for your space. But once he gets oh, I do love the blue and white cabinet, with the blah, blah, blahs. Then he's like, yeah, let's roll with this, right? So it's closing people faster. Denise is using it in fun ways also in her newsletters for seasonal stuff, just like newsletter images, generative prompting, and of course, ChatGPT as well. Breegan is using it for her philanthropy. Okay. Yes, I got that one out this time. It's a tricky one for me. As well as just like planning, researching, generative AI, those types of things. So that was really cool to hear from those three panelists and their perspectives. Of course, I weighed in with a few of my tips whenever I could to share a few different things. I didn't have any of my own slides up there for that one because I love to hear from other people and how they're using it. So wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Fairfield, for hosting us. Really appreciate that. Your space was wonderful, not only for the panel, but the whole showroom. So hopefully you guys got to go check that out as well. So after the panel on Saturday, I floated around a little bit. I didn't get to see too much just because I was talking to everybody. So I would run into somebody and then, have a conversation. So this whole trip, I actually didn't make it to many showrooms. I think I only made it to like 5 showrooms, which is crazy because I usually make it to a lot more. But it was all about the people and the panels and the AI this time. So after that, I went over to Phillips Collection for the meetup at 4. And I feel like everybody was there. Not sorry if I excluded you if you weren't there, but like I think I saw almost everybody that I wanted to see, whether I got to talk to them from, because I saw them from across the room while I was talking to somebody else, or if I just kind of like looked down and I was like, oh man, I want to get over there. But it was so nice, like such an incredible turnout. Lori Leger was there with IDS, or not IDS, I'm sorry. IDS was also there, but interior design community. So, of course, lots of designers from the interior design community were there as well. And then we had IDS there, my Doma, my friend Claire Jefford was there. So a lot of people had like their meetups kind of all go at 4:00 from various groups and organizations to Phillips Collection, which was an incredible host. And if you don't know about Phillips Collection, they also use AI. So I had some really great conversations there, with their developer about what they're doing and seeing how from the, manufacturer side, how they're integrating AI into their workflow, which is different, but also similar to how we're doing it for, independent solopreneurs and interior design firms. So, Jason, I was on a panel, Jason Phillips, I was on a panel with at the art conference, actually coming, that was also in May. So coming back from Scottsdale, I flew over to New Orleans, and was honored to be on that panel about AI, at the art conference. So Jason was on that one, and he was talking about kind of product design, and it wasn't as in depth back in May as how we're all kind of using it now. It's just started to really integrate and infiltrate our lives and our workflows. So it was really cool to see how he's using generative AI to create conceptual ideas for their product development. Because if you know Phillips Collection, you know how different and unique and just organic and fun their product line is. It's truly incredible. So seeing how they like go from the ideation phase, and I asked him if he would come on and talk to us, so hopefully I'll have Jason on soon, but seeing them go from the product phase and the ideation phase with that over to their workflow to basically photograph a product when it comes in and then generate that into an AI setting for the images that they can put on their website. They're using that now where, it's a white background or a PNG file, and they're dropping it into an AI program. And it's creating a room setting for them using that actual product there. So I've seen a couple different options for this. I haven't explored it too much yet because I'm not in the product space, but now I'm gonna. So I was, talking to them about, well, Midjourney just had a new edit come out, the new edit mode last week. Maybe that's a good alternative instead of using these other programs, and having to import it and then do stuff and then take it somewhere else. However, I did try it after I got home because I was like, let's see if I can take a picture of a product and then put it into a setting. And while you can, right now it's kind of like changing the product a little bit because of like how you have to lasso it to be able to get it in there. So I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do yet to be able to show them that, hey, this might be another possibility for Midjourney, since they now have that edit mode. But we're not quite there yet. So these are the things that like spark my ideas with the different types of tools. So having these conversations and being like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what are you solving for? Like, what are we trying to figure out here? And that for them is how to include their products to scale in AI generated spaces for the website to be able to show like context. Of course, they're still showing the exact product, on a white background, all that type of stuff. But to be able to show it in a contextualized setting is also so valuable for them. So that's going to be interesting to see kind of how all that shakes out as we start to get even better technology. And a lot of these other brands are starting to do that too, where honestly, Philips Collection is always ahead of the game. We did a show house together virtually in 2022 or 2020 during COVID. And, they have always been tech friendly and forward. So I always love to see what they're working on. So hopefully we'll learn a little bit more from them if I can get Jason on the podcast to, kind of talk about it as much as he can. So that was cool to see everybody at the meetup there at Philips Collection at 4. And then I went to a dinner that night. And of course, great people. Always is. But late dinner. And to be totally honest with you, I didn't sleep very much this weekend. I don't sleep well in my own bed. And then being an introvert, I go home or back to the bed at night. And as tired as I can be, I do not fall asleep right away. Like I am just like decompressing and like running through every conversation and running through every like connection and like what happened this day. And I'm not even like worrying. I'm not even like planning for tomorrow. I just cannot shut it off. So I slept for 4 hours the first night, 6 hours the second night, and then maybe 4 hours the night before I left. So I was ready to go by Monday. And I usually am here for like 6 days. So this short trip was just fine. And I still, Monday morning I woke up and I actually was going to go to the antique center and like, look for some stuff. And then I had an appointment with Private Label to be able to, sit on some furniture and look at their new collection. But I felt terrible. Like you can hear it in my voice probably now, but like sinuses have been going crazy. And then I was just like dead tired. So I was like, I'm just going to drive home. So I didn't even make it to there on Sunday. Luckily I live so close. And they're there year round. I will definitely be going back. And I go to market every time. So I just had to, for my health and sanity, leave on Monday because I was just so tired. But going back to Sunday, let's talk about that incredible panel. All right, so Sunday's panel was at 2:00 at the Point. It was led and moderated by David Cohen, and then we also had, myself, and the sponsor was METI, METI, which is item backwards. And it's actually, okay, so Mariah was on the panel. They sponsored it. I cannot wait to do my demo with her. It's scheduled for next week for this product, and then hopefully have her also come on here. So they are have developed a program that basically helps you with back end. So the ordering, the email automations, all that stuff that like we need so badly. That's the AI and the platform that they've developed. So Mariah was a sponsor. insanely intelligent woman. Very, very excited and happy to meet her. When I got to, kind of walk over after with Sarah Daniele, who is the co-founder of Mydoma, and, Mariah and myself. And I love to see women in tech. So we all met up after for a little bit. We went to the Kravitz party. Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but I just need to say this because it's so nice to see women in design and technology and in the interior design space. Technology and development, especially in the AI space right now, it's all men. It's pretty much all men, right? So these programs are coming out and they don't always have, the end user in mind, or the feminine touch to it. So I'm just so grateful to see more and more women developers in this field. So very excited to connect with obviously both Sarah, who I'm staying with at High Point, and Mariah. So very, very cool. But Mariah brought such a high level discussion to the panel when it comes to AI and what it is and what it isn't. So that was very cool. And then we also had Ginger Curtis of Urbanology, who is also a shorty like me, 5 feet tall, and that was nice, especially since David Cohen is almost 7, so we're all outside, like chins up, talking to him before the event, which was funny. But Ginger is just absolutely lovely, and it was such an honor to meet her. She just wrote a book. If you don't know, I would check that one out. It should be on her Instagram, Urbanology. But she was talking about how she records everything. So girl, like right after my own heart. So she has been recording conversations, and I actually in the preliminary call before the panel had introduced her to Plod, which is that note taker that I've been using that connects to either your phone for two-way conversations, just acts as a note taker, or you can put it in the middle of the room and have it be like a recorder, right? So she's been using that and other recording systems to get transcripts from her walkthroughs, from her client conversations, from meetings in general. And she's like just reinforcing what I've been saying, which is like, you miss things while you're doing walkthroughs. You don't always hear like subtleties with, oh, I love that, or I didn't love that, or like, different parts of conversations, because maybe you're taking notes or you're thinking about something else or you're researching or you're in the other room or whatever that might be. Note takers get it all. And it just helps us to be more proficient and better at our jobs as a whole. So she was talking about how she's using that ChatGPT, and just for like back end stuff, how it's like, incredible to be able to have these tools and turn transcripts into detailed searchable notes that you can filter and, really look through. So loved hearing her perspective on that. And then we also had Stacy Garcia, and Stacy Garcia was talking about trend forecasting, planning vacations using ChatGPT, and then also product development. And one of the takeaways that I really appreciated from what Stacy said was that she uses the Adobe product suite for product development because Adobe was not trained on open source information, so like internet stuff. They trained their models and generative AI on their intellectual the products that they own. Okay. So the stock images and other imagery, they trained it on what they actually own and not open source. So what she was talking about is that she prefers to use that just for terms and conditions. She did previously, and maybe she still is, use Midjourney, but on other tiers so that it's a little bit more protected with what she's creating and has the rights to it. Of course, we always want to make sure we're checking our terms and conditions, talking to a lawyer, because these things change all the time, right? So, that's what they were saying, and hopefully still are, that like if you're paying for this, it's private and you do own rights to the images that you're generating. I also told her to check out Visual Electric because they're really incredible at creating image shots. But either way, she's using Adobe, which is great. And she also mentioned that she uploads photos from nature, photos that she's taken, things that have inspired her to create product collections. So it's stuff that like is taken from nature. not from other designers. And this was one thing that I mentioned ethically, that I'm not running other designers' intellectual property, their photography, their artwork, any of that stuff through my image generators. I'm using my own words to create prompts, or my own images in renders and concept boards to recraft prompts, not somebody else's. That is like the point of this, is to, for me at least, to not steal somebody else's intellectual property, because you can run it through and it can look so damn similar to that original design that it's kind of like, ugh, no, that's like that's a no for me. So it's something that, golden rule, I would not want done to me, so I'm not going to do it to others. And I'm happy to see that in the product development side and where she's gathering her information from. So as a person that searches and teaches trend reporting, it's interesting to see how she's looking for trends and creating trends and using AI to supplement and to enhance her existing process. So incredible panel discussion. Really, really amazing feedback afterwards. People just kind of buzzing about it. It was a packed house, of course, at the point. People looking in windows, to see what the panelist was. So maybe next time we get a bigger space, because these panels were all packed out. AI is a hot topic, but also like being real about AI and practical use cases, I think, is also an incredible hot topic right now. Okay, so that is, and then I went out to a late dinner after that panel and saw a few showrooms. I also went to a panel at Hooker that morning too. So I got to see Hooker, Bobo, a few of my favorites in the Hooker showroom. Luann, of course, was there doing the panel when I went. So busy day. So then we had dinner at Printworks that night at about 8:15, and lovely group, just different group, lovely group, just different friends and everybody that not everybody, but like, I'm going out to Printworks and I'm like, oh, hey, you're here. It's 8:00. Oh, hey, you're here. I'm seeing you in the lobby. So not a lot of places to eat in Iowa, especially for like good meals. So it was nice to see everybody. But that, I just wanted to give you a quick recap as to like how people are using AI. So I just want to give you that quick recap as to like how other designers and industry members are currently using AI and just the experiences from the panels. We did record a few snippets, so hopefully I'll be posting a few of those later. But all in all, wonderful market. And I'm really excited to be going to KBIS in 2025 in February. I think that's going to be the next show. I'm working on some other stuff and planning for 2025 right now. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys at some other, upcoming markets and events, Dallas, those types of things. Would love to see you all there. I'm just kind of planning now because I'm loving teaching you guys AI, and I'm loving learning from you guys about how you're using AI. So I am so excited about what's coming in 2025 and all of the new features and use cases, and like let's really dig into this because it's here. I think we all know that by now, right? Now we just need to figure out like and help each other to be able to figure out the best use cases. If you listen to Crystal's episode a few episodes back about, she's from the luxury decorative hardware and plumbing industry, and now going into more of a tech field. But she was really talking about how all industries and having the conversations and like connecting and everything is just so instrumental to being able to keep moving this technology forward and coming up with the best use cases together. Because it's one thing for a developer to create something, it's another thing for them to create something that is custom and actually helps people, not just like, could be detrimental to the industry because they wanted to make it for DIYers. So it's nice to have the conversations with all different corners of the industry, and going to markets like this, that's where those conversations and connections are had. So I hope to see you guys at a future market, especially High Point Market. But until then, have a lovely day.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.